Thank you for joining me today for this presentation from the Holistic Wellness Store. My name is Marcus Catrone, and I'm the owner of the Holistic Wellness Store. I've been a frequency practitioner for the past 12 years. Today I'm going to talk about who we are, what we do, and where we do it. I'm also going to talk about the condition and tissue protocols. We're going to talk a little bit about frequency-specific treatments with PEMF. I'm going to show you some of the creation of our simple software, and then I'm going to finish up with showing you the new clinical and portable PEMF devices that we have. Dr. Bart Flick is the inventor of all our PEMF devices. Dr. Flick is also an orthopedic surgeon and an acupuncturist and a naturopath. We started using frequency at his practice, Mountain Medical Specialties in Clayton, Georgia. We had such great success with it that we actually opened a frequency clinic in Clayton, Georgia that year. We treat fractures, wounds, arthritis, injuries, and an array of many other issues that our patients have. Our devices are also manufactured by Reset Manufacturing in Clayton, Georgia. You know I have to give you this disclaimer. The devices or companies do not claim to treat or correct any medical diseases, injuries, or symptoms. Our devices are considered a wellness device and a non-significant risk device by the FDA. A little bit about our devices. We manufacture and also sell PEMF, microcurrent, and low-level red laser generators. We specialize in low Gauss devices, handheld PEMF, and laser devices. We work with a modified spike square wave at 25 milligauss. We run frequencies between 1 and 5,000 Hertz, and we use frequencies of Van Gelder, Abrams, Silver, the CAFL list, Solfeggio Freaks, and other resources. We are the only devices that run 7 frequencies simultaneously. Our devices are programmable, rechargeable, stackable, and come with free software. Frequency healing has been around for centuries, but it wasn't until the 1940s when a Dr. Harry Van Gelder created a system. He found that if you had a certain frequency for a condition like inflammation and another frequency for a tissue like a nerve, working those together would really make the healing happen better and faster. In the mid-1990s, Dr. Carolyn McMakin bought a chiropractic clinic, and it had an original Van Gelder frequency generator in it. She spent the next few years perfecting the condition and tissue protocol, so much that she created actually an FSM course that today is taught all over the world. Dr. McMakin has also written a book called The Resonance Effect that shows the benefits of frequency healing. Men Technology, Inspastar, and HowRT have all created microcurrent devices for frequency healing. When we talk about frequencies, the key is finding the specific frequency to make the cell create more ATP, or more energy, so that it can heal itself. Each condition has a frequency that makes it go away, such as inflammation is 40 Hertz, or chronic inflammation is 284 Hertz. Now with that, each tissue has a frequency that makes it happy, such as the spinal cord is 10 Hertz, the nerves 396 Hertz, and ligaments 100 Hertz. Now pairing a condition with a tissue is where the magic happens. So if we combine inflammation with the spinal cord, or chronic inflammation with the nerve, or torn and broken of a ligament, that's where we're going to see better results than a stagnant single frequency such as 33 Hertz. I've talked a lot about microcurrent, but frequencies can be delivered through many different modalities. Not only microcurrent, but PEMF, red light lasers, or plasma and scalar fields. Microcurrent uses electrodes and wet towels to deliver the frequencies. Now, many times you can get patient complaints from that, and you can imagine if you're running 3 devices on one patient, how many wet towels and how many electrodes you're going to go through. What we found is we can use the magnetic field, a low Gauss magnetic field, and have the same healing effects. When we use PEMF with the same frequency pairs, we do get better results. With our devices, you can actually run 6 different pairs all at the same time. Now with PEMF, it's easier to set up for a treatment. In other words, you don't have to stick them to the skin. PEMF will go through clothing. You get better client compliance because the clients are willing to take it home and willing to use the device more than they would messing with electrodes and wet towels. And the last thing is for the office, we have faster client turnover in that office so we can see more patients in a shorter period of time. Now I would like to share with you a short story on our device development. As I said, we were using microcurrent and seeing amazing results. But with seeing 20 patients a day and using 2 to 3 devices on each patient caused a nightmare of wet towels and electrodes. We knew there had to be a better way. We also knew that frequencies could be pulsed through a magnetic field with the same results as an electronic field. Now, come on, NASA had been doing this since the 70s. Dr. Flick partnered up with a world-renowned engineer named Bob Bugash. They designed our first portable, pocket-sized device called the EM3. This device had 2 magnetic coils. The circuit board could generate 2 separate but specific frequencies. This way, we could follow the Van Gelder-McMaken AB protocols. The EM3 produced a square wave at about 25 milligauss. We knew that low-level PEMF could duplicate the results of low-intensity microcurrent. The cell doesn't need to be shocked. It needs to be excited to create more ATP and to heal itself. At that time, microcurrent devices were only running one program at a time. Then they'd need to be reprogrammed through the search screen on the device to pick another program. Our device was so small that it couldn't have a screen. So we created a stacking protocol to run one program right after another. So I can run 4 different back programs, a PTS program, and then a couple knee programs, one right after each other. This proved to be invaluable with our clients with multiple issues. All these programs could be loaded from a simple MP3 list from your computer. We had great clinical results and home patient results because it was easy to use and it was small. The only issue we had was that the EM3 was powered by 2 AA batteries. They would only last about 24 hours, so you were constantly recharging batteries or worse, buying new batteries. The other issue was that there was no real software to build or edit programs or to keep patient files. We knew we had to do something about this. That brought us to the development of the new device called the MR7 with new software. The MR7 was 6 times better than the EM3. We knew many practitioners were running multiple machines on a single patient per treatment. That would generate multiple frequencies into the body at one time. The body can figure out the multiple frequencies and put them where they're needed or where they belong. If that's the case, why not run 5 or 6 pairs of frequencies at one time and treat all the parts of a certain issue simultaneously, such as inflammation on 6 parts of the knee at one time? This would, instead of treating 6 parts for 2 minutes each, we could treat all 6 parts for 12 minutes each in the same time frame and get more treatment per tissue. The MR7 runs 7 frequencies at one time. That's like running 5 or 6 pairs at the same time. The MR7 generates a spike wave and is powered by a rechargeable enclosed battery. This design enables the MR7 to run multiple programs up to 24 hours. Many of our practitioners still purchase and use the MR7 today. Imagine, no wires, rechargeable, program stackable, and it fits in your pocket. Could it get any better? Well, yes. How about some easy software? The one complaint we constantly heard was that the microcurrent software at that time was very difficult to use and hard to build and edit programs. Dr. Flick searched the USA and found a software engineer in Washington State named Ron Maupin. He spent hundreds of hours and created an easy to use click and drop system for the new revolutionary software. It has the look and feel of Excel. It has big buttons and great colors to make it easy to use. The software has the abilities to edit one of our 400 programs, or you can create your own programs. You can also build multiple program sets to repeat multiple times. You can dissect a program and see exactly what frequencies are in that program. If you have forgotten what a certain frequency is for, you could hover over that cell and click to see the Van Gelder frequencies. By the way, not all of our frequencies are Van Gelder. We resource frequency from Van Gelder, Abrams, Cymatics, the Consolidated Frequency List, and from many frequency practitioners around the world. The software also has a client file option to keep track of all your programs run on each patient, on which device, and at what date. It's truly amazing. The pre-made programs stick to structure and function. We don't want to say we can cure any disease or any symptom. Practitioners receive the Pro software with over 400 pre-made protocols. These can be used as is since they are established protocols, or you can edit them to your liking. All software is free with the purchase of a device and comes with a simple flash drive to download on as many computers as needed. Non-practitioners will receive basic software flash drive, which has 29 of the most common issues like back, neck, sleep, acute injury, etc. These are compiled files of programs that are in the practitioner's 400. We just don't want non-practitioners to have access to over 400 programs or the ability to build programs without proper training. Let's take a quick look at a couple pages of the software. This is the home page for our MagRes frequency device. All of our software, no matter which device you have, looks and acts the same. If you notice, the first button is if you have a device that's already programmed, you can view the frequency files within that device. The second button is so that you can look within a frequency file and see what frequencies are running. The third button is the compiler. This is the button you will use all the time. This is how you build program sets and transfer them into the device. You can also create a magnetic frequency file from scratch. You can edit one of our frequency files, and you can create and play a magnetic frequency file. And the last button is the client files I talked about, where you can search through a certain client or find out what you've run on them at a certain date or the last treatment. This is to give you a look at the compiler page. As you notice, the categories are on the left-hand side. Right now, it is set to the A to Z file and shows me all the frequency files that are available. But if I wanted to, I can roll down to the dental, and if I clicked on dental, it would only show me the dental programs. Once I pick a frequency file in that second column, I hit the add button and it throws it over into the compiled file. As you can see, there's a group of different frequency files within that compiled file. And they total up to 568 minutes, which is about 9 hours. I go to the top of the page, I give it a frequency file name, I tell it how many times I want it to repeat, in this case 3, and then I just press the big blue button at the bottom to transfer the treatment to the device, and it's going to ask me what client I want or what patient I want it to file to, and it'll transfer it over to that person's device. To build a frequency set takes about 1 minute. This is the View Magnetic Frequency File page. We clicked on that button, opened it up, picked a program, said view the program, and this is what it looks like. What you end up with, if you look at the first 2 lines, the first line is concussion, which we add to most of our programs, and the second one is the solfeggio frequencies, which just kind of get the body ready for the treatment. You can also look at channel 1 through 7 and see which frequencies are running on which magnets within the device. and you can also see the time running. Now, if you went to the edit screen, you can go and change the time, you can move some frequencies around, change some frequencies in or out, and then save it under a different name. It'll not allow you to save it under allergy EST. You'd have to change it to allergy short or allergy 2 or something like that. As in all devices, you have some contraindications. And no different than microcurrent, hydration is important. The patient needs between 48 and 60 ounces of pure water during the day of treatment. If the patient is pregnant, just no, don't do it. If the person has a pacemaker or a mechanical pump, be careful. We like to put the device above the clavicle or below the navel. If you have babies, I wouldn't use the frequency unless you have a doctor's supervision. The same thing with bleeding injuries. Use it with a doctor's supervision. PEMF, microcurrent, lasers are not to be used directly on the eyes. The magnetic or laser discs are not to be submerged in water, and never, never, never say this cures cancer. I'm going to finish up with showing you some of our devices. The EM272B, which is microcurrent and PEMF, the MLR72, which can be laser or magnetic discs, the MagResB, which is our portable device that does all 7 frequencies, and of course our magnetic converter that converts any microcurrent output into magnetic PEMF. This is our 272B. It is a PEMF generator with the output going to 2 7-channel magnetic discs. But the 272 is also a full microcurrent device, offering polarity adjustments as well as current adjustments up to 400 milliamps. The microcurrent outputs are transferred to 2 pairs of skin electrodes, one for the A frequency and one for the B frequency. The real-time LED screen shows the frequencies running on both the 7 PEMF channels as well as the AB frequencies on the skin pads. The screen also shows the current polarity running and the amount of charge left on the battery. Yes, this device can be run on its own battery power for about 8 hours, as well as running plugged in to a 110 volt AC system. Unique about the 272B is that it's the only device on the planet that can run the same program on both PEMF and microcurrent simultaneously. We find we receive better results when running 2 modalities at the same time. The reason being, some tissues react better to PEMF and some react better to microcurrent. This gives you the best of both worlds. To duplicate this type of treatment, you would need 3 devices, 2 microcurrent devices plus a magnetic converter. Having both in one device saves you time and, well, a few $1,000s. Our low-level laser discs can also be used on this device and will modulate the red light at the 7 frequencies programmed into the 272B. You also have the option to run either modality by itself. If you just want PEMF because your patient hates wet towels, unplug the electrolytes. If a practitioner only wants to use microcurrent, then unplug the magnetic discs. Best results will be achieved by running both at the same time. The best thing about the 272B is that it saves the practitioner money. The next device is the MLR72. The MLR72 can run our regular 7-channel magnetic discs as well as the frequency modulated low-level red laser discs. In fact, you can run one of each if you wish to run 2 modalities at the same frequencies. The MLR72 device is our workhorse. It doesn't have a screen, so that's one less thing that the patient can break. Most patients don't need a screen since the practitioner is setting up the programs for them. Most offices really don't need a screen unless they are watching the individual frequencies on the patient in real time. Another benefit of not having a screen is that the magnetic version is about $600 less expensive than the 272B with the magnetic discs. We have had awesome results with the magnetic version of the MLR72. Last year, my grandson broke his arm playing baseball, and we were able to strap the magnetic discs right to his cast. He ran it every night, and he had full union in 3 weeks. The doctor could not believe how fast he healed. That's about half the time of normal healing. The other option with the MLR72 is using our frequency modulated red light laser discs. Many of you have heard of the new buzzword photobiomodulation. I just love saying that. All it means is the application of red light to affect the biology of the body. In this case, low level red laser light. Hundreds of clinical studies over the past decade boast about the health benefits of red light therapy. Low-level lasers have been proven to reduce inflammation, increase the healing of wounds and soft tissue, and give relief of both chronic and acute pain. Our low-level lasers consist of 42 red 650 nanometer laser diodes. Every 6 diodes pulse at the frequency programmed into the MLR72. This makes them the only portable, frequency modulated red laser lights in the world. We have had better success with the laser disc than any of our other discs that we have. Dr. Flick has even used them in a medical office for adding frequencies to IV bags. The red light radiation creates a structural change and a phase shift in the IV liquid. This lets the liquid carry the information of the frequencies into the patient. For what the patients tell us, it seems to supercharge the treatment. Results have been so successful that Dr. Flick has a patent pending on the laser discs. Practitioners are finding that even though the laser discs are more expensive than the magnetic disc, they do give better results in some applications. Our new portable device is called the MagRes-B. The MagRes-B has basically eclipsed the MR7 that we've sold for the past 10 years. As technology progressed, chips became smaller, magnetic coils became smaller, while still generating the same output. The MagRes-B is much smaller and lighter than the MR7. It's only 2 inches square and 1.7 ounces. But still, it has the 7 magnetic coils, putting out the 7 frequencies programmed from the software. It generates a modified square wave for better excitement of the cell and the mitochondria. The MagRes-B is programmable, stackable, and rechargeable like our other devices. The device will run between 8 and 10 hours on a 4-hour charge. It can also be run plugged into a 110 volt AC outlet. The MagRes-B operates on the same type software and programs as our other devices, but is totally portable. The tiny size and the ease of use makes it the biggest seller in our clinic. Once your patients see it and use it, they'll want one. This can mean an added revenue source for your clinic. The silicone cover protects the MagRes-B as well as giving you slots to attach Velcro strapping. Most people just slip it into their pocket. The MagRes-B also is great for pets and animals. The last device I will talk about today is the magnetic laser frequency converter. This is the only device on the market that takes an electrical signal from a microcurrent device and converts it to a pulsed electromagnetic signal. The AB frequencies coming from the microcurrent device are converted to the 2 7-channel magnetic discs, each generating the AB signal from the microcurrent device. So 4 of the magnetic coils will produce the A frequency, and 3 of the coils will generate the B frequency on each disc. Having 2 discs producing the same signal gives the practitioner the options to treat 2 places at one time, such as 2 knees. If you've ever tried to sleep with electrodes wired to you, then you can appreciate the ease of using the magnetic discs under your fitted sheet. It's the easiest way to get 8 hours of treatment. Hundreds of magnetic converters have been sold throughout the world over the past 12 years. Our optional low-level laser disc will also run from the converter outputs. Again, each disc producing the AB frequencies from the microcurrent device. Just remember, as we say in our clinic, just say no to wet towels. I would like to thank you for investing your time to watch our presentation. If you'd like more information on all our devices, go to holisticwellnessstore.com. You can contact me at marcus@holisticwellnessstore.com, or you can call me at 850-496-1999. I'm in the Central Time Zone. Please contact me for special conference discounts. For any of you looking for an added revenue source for your clinic, we're always looking for wholesalers. As always, thank you for supporting Frequency Healing.